Hey everyone, Sarah at Nova again. And this week we have a bit of a rarity. It's a man. I don't quite know what to say about this one, so we'll just figure it out. What it is it's a 2000 Indian Scout. Um, for those who are fans of the Indian brand name, you'll know that the Indian name changed a lot of hands since 1953, which was the last year they made motorcycles here in Massachusetts, down in Springfield. Since then, it went into a bunch of different things. If you follow us, you'll know we have a Royal Enfield Indian, an Indian badged, sold by the original Indian company, but made in England, Royal Enfield. After that, Floyd Clymer had the name. He put the Indian name on some Velocets. And they went on to mini bikes and dirt bikes from Italy and China and Taiwan. Like the name has been basically prostituted out all over the world, sad to say. By the 90s, there had been some attempts to revive it as an American company. The people involved in that, at least one of them went to jail for fraud. So it has weird stuff. In 99, it was constituted, there was a company from 99 to 2003. That was an amalgamation of several companies, basically corporations that wanted to do something, thought they could make a buck with the brand name. I'm sure there were enthusiasts involved as well, not just evil corporations, but they basically they were able to get the rights to the Indian name, and they made this motorcycle. The weirdest thing right off the bat to me about this bike is that this is an S&S motor, and for those of you who know and don't know, S&S makes Harley replica motors. They're legit replicas of Evos and shovel heads. They make pan heads. They make whatever you got. If it's a Harley motor, they make it, and it's an exact copy, and it bolts right into a Harley frame. So this is a 88 cubic inch or 1440 cc or so Harley V twin. So Indian and Harley back in the day, great rivalry. It's a little bit odd. It's like putting a Ford motor into a Ferrari or something like that. The Ford versus Ferrari debacle, or not debacle, the battles of the 60s. So it's kind of weird. It definitely, looking over the bike again, this is the first one of these I've seen this close. I've seen them over my time in the industry. I've seen them kind of ride by every so often, but I haven't had a chance to look one over. I literally pulled this out of a covered shed, basically almost in the open air, just a roofed yard in a farm, not far from here yesterday, and it's clearly been there for quite a while. And I've been looking it over, and it just seems to me like it's a bit of a parts shelf special. With the S&S motor, the switch gear looks like Harley replica stuff. The brakes, Harley replica stuff. A lot of it is something you'd pull right out of either a Harley catalog or an aftermarket parts Harley catalog. So it's a big question that comes to my mind on a bike like this is why? Who's your market? If you want a big Harley, you can buy one. If you want an S&S motor, you can put one in any Harley out there. So I'm not quite sure. That being said, if you step back from it, the lines of it are kind of interesting. The tank has its own shape to it, very retro. The fenders bigger than they need to be. The blinkers are definitely one-off pieces. This odd shape oval stuff going on here is kind of cool to look at, or hideous depending on where you're coming from. You've got the chief's head on the fender, as most Indians do, or the chiefs do anyway, and this is on a Scout, so go figure. And it being a big Harley, I'm sure it's fun to ride. These things, the torque on these is ridiculous. But it's hard to know what the selling point of this is. I don't know for a fact, but I'm guessing these cost more than a Harley of their era, for a brand new bike. So you're paying for a name. But I don't see anything right off the bat that says, "Oh, this is a better bike. This is worth something else." Especially as I'm sure we're going to find out when we work on this bike. And this is one of the problems of us doing what we do, is I bet you there's some parts in this bike that you just can't get anymore. There's nobody making them anymore. They were one-offs at the time, and even when it was new, that was kind of thing you had to worry about. So these forks, for example, I can look at them and see how pitted they are. They need to be replaced. The fork tubes. That'll never seal. It's just going to leak oil no matter what you do. I don't know what those are. If I'm lucky, there's a Harley part that bolts right in there. If not, we're going to be scouring the internet and buying a set from Germany or something like that, where somebody has them squirreled away. So we'll see. Now, the owners of this bike, they got it new. The story was they actually won it in a contest of some sort, and would like to see it return to its glory. So we're going to go through it bit by bit. This is not going to be a quick project. This is going to be something we'll check in on in the next course of the next year or so, I'm sure. Hopefully we get it on the road for spring, summer of 2025. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to learn a lot as we go in there. So if you have any experience with this generation, this company went bankrupt in 2003. Another company bought their rights and kept making the same bike essentially. And I will say that they only used this S&S motor for the first couple years of production. They also then went and built their own motor. And Kent, who works for us here, worked for a shop down in Tennessee, whose owner was consulted for the building of that motor, which is kind of cool. He also says that they didn't listen to him, and that's why they had a problem with their motor. I tend to agree with that, knowing how these things tend to go. But to their credit, they did attempt to build their own engine. So this was sort of a stopgap, this S&S thing. And that engine did continue on until, I want to say, 2009, when that company went under. And then in 2011, Polaris bought the name and actually put some effort into building really nice stuff. And I'm not a big cruiser person in my particular tastes, but what Polaris has done with Indians is really good. The Scout in particular is a cool bike. It's reliable. It's solid. It's actually modern. Everything on it works pretty well. So I'd say Indian is back in good hands. Yeah, it's what a long, strange trip it's been for this name. And yeah, so as I say, if you have any experience with these, please let us know what you think of them. Let us know what you like about them. Let us know what the downsides are, because we're going to have to find out the hard way if somebody doesn't clue us in. And any of these other S&S specials that you're aware of, shoot us in the comments of who else is using these. I know that these go into all the boxed customs, like the big dogs and that kind of stuff. But if there's anything else interesting that's a little bit more tame like this, we'd love to know about it. As usual, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't, and see you next time.